As most people know, Marvel sold the movie rights to their biggest characters and were forced to build a universe without them. But what you may not have known is that they sold the rights to more characters than had movies made about them. And in fact, we almost got an MCU without Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor, and Hulk. Today I'm going to explore what it would look like if the rights to those characters didn't revert so quickly. Maybe the studios that bought the rights actually did something with them, so Marvel would have to wait until after the Infinity Saga to use them. The only core Avenger Marvel would still have the rights to in this timeline is Captain America, so that's who I feel like they would start out with. Captain America the First Avenger releases in 2008 in this timeline, but it's essentially the same as the real movie with no major changes. Aside from Howard Stark not appearing. Following this, also in 2008, Marvel would release Black Panther, which remains basically the exact same, except obviously taking place much earlier in this universe. Adding one extra movie to the saga, Hawkeye would release in 2009. The movie follows Clint Barton, a retired S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who is brought back into action alongside his wife Mockingbird as they are forced to take on Clint's brother, Barney Barton, aka Trickshot. With S.H.I.E.L.D. involved, Nick Fury has a small role, and the movie ends with him recruiting Hawkeye and Mockingbird into the Avengers. Captain America Serpent Society would release in 2010 and follow Cap being thawed out of the ice and being recruited into S.H.I.E.L.D. and facing off against the Serpent Society, leading into the Avengers. The first release of 2011 is Ant-Man. Since this universe would start earlier, I did consider making Hank Pym the main Ant-Man for this saga. However, even when Ant-Man was meant to be in Phase 1, it still focused on Scott Lang, so I'd stick with that. The movie would play out the exact same, except the Avengers don't exist at this point, so the whole part with Falcon would be cut. Also releasing in 2011 is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, where Claw returns, having been resurrected in the form of living sound, to get his revenge on Black Panther. But after all of that, the Avengers would release in 2012, but be pretty different from the actual movie. The team would consist of Captain America, Ant-Man the Wasp, Black Panther, Hawkeye, and Mockingbird, and without the rights to Thor, Loki wouldn't be the main villain, instead it would be AIM led by MODOK. AIM would attack Wakanda for vibranium, which is how Black Panther gets involved. MODOK wants to use the Tesseract to open a portal and summon the Chitauri army, the same way that Loki did in the actual movie, as the Thanos post-credit scene remains the same.